Hey, what's up guys? My name is Brandon and welcome back to the channel. We are installing the twin air compressor on my 2020 Silverado. I'm going to go step by step on how I did it, and we're going to do a little testing and review on this one in particular. It is the Rugged Ridge twin air compressor kit that is going to be mounted on board my truck. And I'm going to show you a few places that people will typically mount it in their truck, and then I'll show you how I decided to do it quick and easy. Let's go ahead, open up the box and see what comes inside this kit. As far as the airflow, at 0 psi it's 6.16 CFM, and at 29 psi it's 4.65 CFM. CFM just means cubic feet per minute. This just tells you how long you can run your compressor before you have to turn it off. The higher the CFM number, the more efficient your compressor is. Rugged Ridge also supplies a 5-year warranty with this product. So the first thing that you should do when you open up the box is scan this QR code and get the installation instructions, which is not very difficult. It's the installation. Hopefully after watching this you guys will have some confidence that you can get it done yourself. But do that first. Look at the instructions, read over it, see what gauge wire you need depending on where you're going to mount your compressor. The gauge wire might be different. Further away from the battery, the larger gauge you need, which is a smaller number. That just means that you'll get the proper power to your compressor. If you're mounting it right next to the battery, you can just use the wiring straight from the harness. So it depends on where you're going to mount it, which gauge you're going to use, but all that information is in the instructions. So it comes with this hose. It has the 4 quick connects that go to all 4 tires, and you can hook that straight into your digital gauge here. Deflate and inflate all 4 tires at the same time. Really nice that it comes with that kit. It has this nice little carrying case. So once you're done, you roll up your hose, you put it back in here, and you just have to carry this bag and plug it into your compressor. It comes with a little bit of the hardware that you need. It has the terminal connections and some of the bolts to mount this if you're going to hard mount it somewhere. It comes with a plug and play wiring harness. This end is going to plug right into the compressor, and then you're going to use the other wires there to hook up to your battery. It comes with 2 air filters. This goes right on each side of your compressor, and then it comes with this heavy duty air compressor. And it really is impressive that for the size of this thing, how heavy it is. You just know that it's a good quality, solid piece of equipment. But yeah, that's everything that comes in the box. And a few other things that I got from my local hardware store just to simplify the process is some wire cutters and some wing twists. I'm also going to use these splice kits that I got that have a heat shrink wrap that comes pre-made on them. It just keeps everything waterproof and a nice tight seal. And then 8 gauge wire to extend from the harness to where I'm going to actually mount the compressor. There's also different brackets and mounting brackets and plates that you can purchase online. But yeah, hopefully after I show you guys this, you'll have a little confidence that the wiring and the mounting the compressor itself is actually doable. It's not too difficult. So hopefully this is helpful. This is one common place where people will try and mount their air compressor right here next to the battery. You have to remove a bunch of things, drill in from the inside to mount the compressor. It's just a lot of work, but it is doable. Let me show you where I'm going to mount mine. For the Silverado, there is another mounting spot that would be kind of cool. It is right here under the passenger seat. There is space. You can lift this seat up for the mounting process, and you could fit the compressor right here, and then you could just reach in with your hand, flip the switch, and then have everything right here. You can store your hoses underneath the seat. So this is another really cool option that might be a good place to mount an air compressor. And in my case, I have these MOLLE panels right here attached to the side of my truck bed. So I'm going to go ahead and install the compressor right here against the MOLLE panels. That way I can lower my truck bed, reach in, just hit the switch, and then I'll have access to my air compressor. Seems like the perfect location to install this. The harness is pretty long, but from the truck bed, obviously I'm going to need to add some extension on there. So I'm going to cut before the fuses and keep the fuses close to the battery. At first, I cut the 2 red wires, giving myself just enough room after the fuses to use the splicing kit. And this splicing kit that I bought is super easy to use. It's just a little bullet copper connector, and you put each wire on each side, you tighten it down with a screwdriver, and then you use a hair dryer or a heat gun to heat shrink the wrap around it, and it just keeps everything watertight. Super easy to use without any soldering or anything difficult. And on the furthest side of the wiring, I'm just going to add the terminal connectors, crimp them down, and add some electrical tape and we should be good to go. The harness is plugged in and it's going behind the molly panel, and it comes back here and goes down. It's not the prettiest setup, but that's how I have it wired. So this is where the wires came out of the truck bed here, and I just fed them on top of this bracket until I found this housing right here. It looks like for other wires, and it actually has a little some kind of snap that I'm able to snap I can snap this in place on some of these. So I actually just used that and some zip ties and brought it all along the top here. So you can see all along here I have the wires zip tied, and using some of these brackets the wires actually clipped right in. I fed those all along up to the front. Once I got to the front, this is where the firewall kind of is. So there's a spot right here where I can feed the wires up to the engine bay. And the wires came up through here, through the engine bay, and I just connected the negative terminal here. And then I connected my positive terminals here. This big one goes to my winch. And those fuse boxes are right here. Remember we said we want to keep those close to the battery. So when I spliced them, I made sure that these are close to the battery. Pretty easy wiring, just that one negative and the two positives, and that's all it took. So I have all 4 tires hooked up with the hose kit that is provided, and it hooks up to the gauge right here. So now I'm actually going to do a test to see how long it takes to fill up. I have 37s, so I want to know from 20 to 35 psi, how long does it take for this compressor? Do I have to shut it off and let it cool down, or am I going to be able to air up and get back on the road within 10 minutes? 22, let's keep going lower. Okay, that's 20. Let's go ahead and air up and see how long it takes.
4, 55, 56, 57, 59.
Nice.
6 minutes.
Stop.
Okay, we did it.
Okay, 35 exactly at 6:01. Nice. Well guys, what do you think? I'm pretty excited. I think that's going to be a huge convenience when I'm out on the trail. I'm able to air up quickly like that, all 4 tires, just have the air compressor ready to go at all times. Huge convenience. And of course I will link this particular air compressor in the description below. It's from Real Truck. They have a ton of other air compressors there, something that might fit your budget or needs more than this one, but go ahead and click that link, check it out. It is an affiliate link, so I do get a small percentage and I appreciate it. It helps me continue to make videos just like this on the channel. And if you haven't already, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, I appreciate it. Do all those YouTube things. And then lastly, I'll remind you to get outside, stay hydrated, and keep on moving.